lost a little memory. So the next card is the Knight of Cups in the reverse, right? And clearly, so the Knight of Cups upright is about like a messenger, somebody who does deliver a message, right? Either good news, bad news. They come out in reverse, and most likely it's bad news. Like it came out to the reverse, so most likely it's bad news, right? But the next cup to somebody who does bring a message, somebody who does deliver important news, right? Be good or bad. And clearly, because this come out on the five of swords, you don't want to be fighting with the wrong people, especially now right now. I just think like a lot of us do really have the energy to like waste, and we should really be building bridges and not like burning bridges and help and stuff like that. So Knight of Cups basically is like about a bad message coming through. Yeah. You really like have to have the strength and like the patience right now to like just stay grounded, stay focused, like not to really like let yourself fall into any traps of like feeling like separation and stuff because like even though it's like yeah it's a heavy time, it is a time of a lot of change and competition because oh yeah so it's like even like in like the business sector, it's like everybody like trying to, even though they're saying like online shopping is a new thing, blah blah blah, all these things. It's like you always have to be like looking. You always gain information that you have to like check upon, make sure it's accurate information. And the next thing is like you really want to preserve your energy because you don't want to like give out like large bouts of energy or large bouts of investments right now. And then from the way how things like changing so much, like it's almost like 90% fail, 10% chance. And like I don't think that's wise, especially because of how things changing, it's like the government saying one set of things. It's of course you got things on social media that like giving off a whole lot of different news and a lot of people in this to a source energy where it's like what is really real is like you just have to kinda like wait this out. You really just have to like wait this out. So any possible blockages next 24 hours, any possible blockages, any possible blockages. So we had two cards, Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands in reverse, just now they'll breeze past it. Okay. So yeah, the Knight of Wands in reverse, and it's the lovers. So the Knight of Wands in reverse again is all about like bad messages, bad information. Like a knight is somebody like if you know the traditional meaning of a knight, it's like people who they would assign to accompany the soldiers and stuff. But apart from like remember the like who would rather send like to send a far message over land like a knight or a soldier who walking on the feet, right? Obviously the knight because it's like he have a horse so like the horse will get it like way faster. And possible blockages, bad information. Like that it's just coming through clear as day for that, like bad information, like things that are not true, things that would um people would believe into because of how things going and because of how it has like so much different changes like at the same time. But honestly, again, it come out in reverse, just like the Knight of Cups. So or everything to do with messages right now, everything to do with like news coming towards you, especially if it's not something that you weren't looking for. If it's for some reason, like people just bring you a set of like bad news, it's like it don't make any sense to like buy into it right now and go and fight with your friends or lash out or squander your energy because it's energy that you really will need. But it have like a lot of things changing, so it will like a backlash to it. It will have a lot of fake news. It will have a lot of scammers who using that, that little time when information could be changing to like to see where they could come up with them basically. And a positive blockage is like you don't want to block your union, right? Yet, because in the midst of all of this chaos, in the midst of things changing, in the midst of bad news coming, it's like it's always had the possibility for good. Like, the, it don't want to exist without the other, and you could miss like. your union, you're coming together, the sexes, you could miss getting balanced out basically. Like if you go and fight or you take like these bad news that could come to you at around this time and you just like don't let time pass or you just you don't show strength, you don't show you don't show um it's not a word. You don't show restraint on your energy and your temper basically. Like you could miss coming into union, you could miss a closeness that something else probably waiting for, like because the justice card here as well, right? So it's like this could have been something that you could have had to get like fair. This is fairly due to you, but you really don't want to waste your energy because, and then after you got to heal from it, from like whatever happened. Like if you have somebody up in an argument and then that day you could be sour and you know the person or the thing that could bring you into balance again you can miss it or like you got to wait for the next cycle of it. So and it didn't really make any sense, like honestly. So like the possible blockage is that always like double check like everything you hear. It might have friends bringing news there, it might have like co-workers bringing news there, it might have like just people on the streets. Like some people are just overhear things and like believe. Like I don't know, but yeah, because you really don't want to miss community union. And just to um, final two cards from this deck, like one card, two cards, just want to like clarify um, any possible like advice, like the next set of advice, like here, like don't get like the things that you actually have. This is the Seven of Pentacles, right? And it came out in reverse. So the Seven of Pentacles is all about like taking stock, being tired, yes, but like contemplating and looking over the things that you already have, the things that you already accomplished, the steps that you already take to reach, to still feeling comfortable in this time. Like things just constantly changing. Seven of Pentacles. It did come out in reverse. So the advice is do not take for granted like how far you already came, like you already survived like the worst of it, like to know what it is, how this thing does affect. Like I keep talking about COVID, but it could mean different things. It's a general reading. So it could have like different situations in your life, right? But the main point of it is to like not lose track or to always like have in mind like I did come far. Like I survived so much of this already. Like like how far the other procedures could be. But at the same time, like just make sure that the information that you have or that the information that comes into you is actually accurate or information that will benefit you, so that you don't miss again like coming into union. Being balanced out. Some people like felt like like they would enough like find somebody to like suit to suit them in this time, and because of how things is and with all the restrictions and things, it's possible, but you just don't want to squander the energy so that you have to go into a state of healing when you could actually be like coming into a state of balance. This was here, this was here. So this was in reverse. Yeah. So Seven of Pentacles, don't take things for granted. And it's like it's a real serious time to like cut the black and white of things. Like what really important to you, what matters to you. It's like really time to zone in on it and like make it be a priority. Like because again, it's like so much options, it has so many news traveling, it has so many different directions you could take at this point in time. Some of them ain't gonna be like valid, some of them ain't gonna be worth it, some of them gonna just be drama and over excitement from people who scared honestly. But now it's like really a time to like just have the strength, have the patience. Like even though you have the energy, you have the power to do something, it might not necessarily be the right time to do it. And I think there's a message that's screaming. Yeah. You know? So like hold back your resources, hold back your emotional energy, hold back your stuff like that so that when the natural forces, like the real I'm saying real, the natural force, the nature the natural natures of ugh, The natural forces of nature go like balance all the things that is too big for you because like if you couldn't handle it in the first place, like don't go and try to pick it up, you know? Like it will have things in place to like deal with it. But it's have a lot of misinformation and people when we hear things it's like okay, so for example, right? Like in my country, like when they hear like we going on it's a shutdown or a lockdown again, or even just they just like planning like more measures, like more COVID measures. They just do things like panic buy and stuff, you know. And to me, I think that is like wasting because next thing you go and you buy up like let me say for example like 10 corned beef or something, and it's like you don't even need the corned beef or the corned beef was like expiring. So the people like use that point in time to like put the corned beef to the front of the shelf and like you just in the haste and scatter-mindedness of it. I know this is like real audio, but you buy like the 10 corned beef that's expiring. So it's like it's stuff like that. Like things that you wouldn't be expecting. So now it's really time to like sit back, relax, contemplate on the things that you already have, the values that I go in and get my car. And from the next reading, I'll be doing readings inside to avoid this. But yeah, so you really just because you don't want to miss. If the universe, God, wherever you just call it, like giving you a chance to come into union, to come into balance, to meet somebody like right here who could actually like compliment you and like help take away like some of your trivial fears and stuff like that. Like I wouldn't want to miss that. And I don't think you go want to miss that either. So just don't take things for granted. Be grateful. Be ready to cut things off. Be okay with cutting things off because a lot of us not okay with cutting things off. We like to hold on to things till like it reaches bare dregs, and that is okay because I believe that is people who do that, you know, that is part of like trust me process, that kind of stuff. But at the same time too, it's like as you get older, as you get more wise, it's like you should already start to like be able to evaluate if you know like next 2 weeks, like next 2 months, if there's gonna be something fulfilling to me, even though that's a short time period, and like you can't really like judge things that fast. You shouldn't judge things that fast, but I still saying you should know yourself that if something would benefit you in the long run, or you should be able to measure it and like how long you will stick around in our situation, if that makes any sense. Right, so basically this breeze running, man. So what I want to do for you guys is just from the Angel Heart Sigil is 2 cards, and this could basically like say, you know, like what angels that have like a wrong, like what angels you should call upon in this time to like help you, because like all different angels have things to do specifically. And again, this card is really deal with the subconscious more than the conscious on anything, because it's like yes, it's had the word book and stuff, but the cards just have some real interesting depictions of stuff, and like seriously, like and then it's like one word, but I think if you really, I like you should use the word to go into meditation on. So for things like illumination, so like clearly, if you're in the Two of Swords energy, right? That is basically this is a card of like no sight. So you have no sight, and it's nobody's fault, but at the same time you still have no sight. So yeah, like who could guide you then to there's are things right around the corner for we sometimes, and we doesn't know, we doesn't see again, we just take things for granted. But these cards is really just get kind of insight to who it already have a wrong, who you should like try to, you know, remember in your day at least, even if it's to say, yo, hey Michael, just help a little protection over me as I going on the road, or the actual field help you provide stuff like that. So just 2 cards. Oh my goodness. The only 2 that flip out of all that fall, I'm going to take them. And honestly, while I was meditating, these same 2 cards came out. It was Metatron, Jubilation, but this one is Adoration, right? And Metatron is the angel of like secret knowledge and like stuff that should be like forgotten and gone. Like this angel is one of the angels who like this is like one of these real sacred angels. Like he does look over stuff and stuff like that. So Metatron, adoration, and Haniel, victory. I didn't baptize so yeah, that breeze was like, oh, Haniel, victory, right? Which again is just confirmation that it will feel like if you need to a swords energy, like you don't know where will come, which is okay. Like you don't know who could be a most likely outcome from it, even if like we will survive the next day. Like I don't know why it's sounding so dire. Hopefully it's not so dire, but you will have victory. That's what this guy is saying at least. Okay, and Metatron, adoration, right? Metatron is the supernal teacher. Metatron brings you such heartfelt love, drenched in the deep conviction of homage of the divine. In the icon, you will see the monstrance of the Christian faith. It, con- it, it contains the blessed host that signifies the body of the Christ used during the rites of benediction. Therefore, contemplate the fact that this is a sacred instrument which reflects the body of the devotee, within the center of which is the seat of the soul, the heart, from which the rays of adoration radiate outwards. Ponder on whether or not your own process needs moments of adoration to increase the flow of the Christ light or source energy through you. Adoration is a state of grace which many of us need to acquire, and so chants he through the crown chakra, Sahasrara, to stimulate the beauty of the adored, whilst feeling Metatron's heart sigil drenching you in its power. Moments of adoration. So yeah, seven of pentacles in reverse. Like don't forget to like actually like admire the work that you do, like admire that you're still sane going through a time like this. Admire that you're still alive, admire that you still had people, you had people who would have probably wanting or watching you as many people to fail or to slip under the rug at a time like this, but admire that you're actually still here and you're still up and you're still doing something. um, Hanael, victory. Okay, so I think this one is the more like to the front of the book. Yeah. So Hanael, victory. Victory means peace, and peace is an assignation with the divine. Hanael's heart wants you to know, through your choice of this icon, that any negativity may be relinquished, to the past and considered a useful teaching for the future. Victory brings a radical commitment to a new way of being and loving, which begins with the practice of meditation and closeness with the use of prayer. Is speak For meditation is listening to God, and praying is speaking to the divine. Consider what has been drawn into the light of completion at this time in your life, and see yourself as a unique, adventurous, and victorious being of light, whom Hanael wishes to bestow the sacred warrior's most desired gift upon. Be with Hanael's sigil and feel the courage of the victorious fill your days. chant high through the throat chakra of Buddha, of self-expression to feel the victory of your station. Yeah, definitely. The thing about it is, guys, is just to look out. Even though you might feel like if you mightn't have a choice, even though you might feel as though um, things will be difficult regardless, and even if they are, don't waste your energy. If it is that you know you could only do something negative, preserve the energy, keep your energy, keep your like outbursts of negative emotion and transmit it into positive emotion. Because again, you don't want to miss the God. If you do believe in God, you would know and you would believe that God and these beings that us look over us, you would know and you would believe and you would understand that they will not just allow things to happen or see us in states of panic and states of chaos and just like leave things. It's like they would not. We wouldn't get the results when we want, how we want, or we would feel as though, like because we can see these things and then somehow much we even like really know and practice, take into practice these extraterrestrial beings and angels and stuff like that. A lot of us don't even know where to start or is like a too far fetched or till it does almost be like hypocritical. Like if you used to go and praise an angel or to God, like the way society have it. But victory is there, so it's like these things will not just like leave us. They will, but at the same time too we have free will, so it's like we had to like call on them. We had to like let them know that hey, I would really need some help. I don't mind like getting a little help out, things like that. Because the health day is time to cut the cords or things that is not for the highest good, the next benefit to going to the next stage, to go into the we had adoration. Like I don't think anybody would want to do anything negative anymore. So it's like if something really wants to giving you value now, something really adding purpose and manner. It's like we want it to be something positive. We want it to be something light bringing. Oh, and Christ, clearly, okay. I missed that, but again, like, put real strongly to say that. Like, call upon Jesus, like, seriously, like, it might sound real touche, it might implicate, because I do in tarot and talking about Jesus, but I telling you folks, that's how this work. At the end of the day, we're not separate from each other. At the end of the day, he never comes to like go up in the by the rich and this and blah blah blah. And clearly in the book this says that this is one of the symbols of like the Christian faith, like a strong Christian faith. And I is somebody who don't necessarily believe in like the Jesus, the white man, because people just take things and like basically say what they want. I do. It's not no Jesus, no white man thing. It's like the concept that it have a God out there who created who had a son who basically saw that we was going to die and like but we was born into sin, so like we couldn't we blood wasn't worth that price then. And you know as creation we have it, like God had a son and he came and stuff, so like yeah, like really call on God and saying it's like I is not a big Christian, like honestly I believe it's our God and I believe that Jesus did come and die for us and stuff to give us that pathway, but I also did believe that it's have like a lot of systems and dark entities was in control, is in control. So it have like a lot of protocols, it have a lot of like stuff to like be removed, right? And we in the transition are moving them, but it wouldn't be easy because these things had control, these things know how they set up their stuff and things. So to come and remove them is not like just like pulling a branch off a tree. It's like pulling the branch off of the tree, yes, first, then testing it, making sure the this way you want to take out of the earth, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, you have to go and get like tractor, you have to go to the board and get assignments to like, yes, you could come and cut down this tree, blah, like that's just a little analogy that they're trying to use. But the point of it is that these dark things was here before we, and yes, they're on the way out, but they're not gone as yet. So, like, just be careful with the news that's all again. Like, second question everything, double check everything, love each other, live in adoration, like call out to God when you're feeling like if you're really in a pit and you don't know what to do, that kind of thing. I love all you. Like, of my Meridian's getting better for the people who like watch Meridian's like the first three videos. And yeah, I just want to leave you guys with that. Oh, and but last thing, you do have the strength, you do have the patience, you do have the inner power, the inner beauty to overcome the obstacles that basically not. But so every even though yes, the most majority will be going through the same thing, or will have the same like draft, everybody um everybody situation will still be different and will still vary. And you know, call out for help as much as you need to. The angels and the guardians always there. God always there. Jesus always there. Them come and die in the beginning to like leave me like now after like so long. I don't even see the sense like what sense that go make. So and it's not him. But I just think yeah. Again, love you guys. Stay strong. Love.